You think that marketing is all about social media and posting interesting messages, right? Wrong. That's one of the biggest mistakes that business owners and entrepreneurs make. Why? Posting immediately, doing just messaging without having a plan. That's why today I'm telling you how to develop a marketing plan that actually works for every type of business. Let's get to it. Let's start with the basics. What is marketing? Marketing is actually not about products and services. It's about one person choosing, trusting, finding another person. This means we are here in people's business. Regardless if you are doing business to consumer, whatever, it's people who buy, people who choose, people who find. So that's the first thing we need to all understand. This is not about posting on social media. This is actually about creating a meaningful process so people find you, choose you, and trust you over time. So that's the definition. How do you do it? As we have said, the most important thing is people. So you have to find always one single ideal client, avatar, hero, however you want to call it. Always finding a right person to tell your story. And the main objectives or our purposes of marketing are mainly three. First, attract, then connect, and finally keep. What does this mean? What we want from marketing is definitely generate leads, but we also need to nurture so we can generate actually a conversion. These are the most important things to keep in mind. If you just post for the sake of posting, you perhaps are going to nurture if you're fun, if you're entertaining, but you are not going to attract more people. Because if you are only fun, you are not going to engage and people are not going to trust you in the long run. Also, if you don't convert, meaning if you don't turn your messaging or your posting or whatever you do into sales, well, it's like pointless. Even if you do a flyer, even if you do an event, if you don't have a way to keep your people as clients, to convert them in an effective way, all you do is for nothing. So that's a very important strategic advice that I need to give you. You should aim to do always three types of objectives, three things to consider in everything you do in marketing, which can be a post, of course, but also an email, also a flyer, a poster, an event, everything. We do it in an integrated way. What do we want from these three aspects? So the outcome of these three objectives is actually simple. We want people to find you. We want people to trust you, which is a very, very important one. And we want people to choose you from your competitors. There are so many people selling similar things. The ones that you are selling, the ones that really connect with you are the ones who really find you because of something that you said, because of the way you said it, because your particular offer. We don't know. We need to find out. That's why it's so important to understand who this person is that you are really talking to. If people don't trust you, if you don't connect, if your message is not engaging from social media, from a video, but also from a small talk, a small line that you give in an elevator pitch or any talk on the street, people are not going to be able to trust you. And finally, if all of this doesn't connect with you as a person over time, people simply are not going to choose you and they will go somewhere else. Those are the strategic principles of marketing that you should keep no matter what, wherever you go. Now we will see how. This is a key secret for success in every marketing plan. It's not about social media. It's about having a person in the center in an integrated way. That's why we call it in marketing integrated marketing communications. What is the key point of this? You put your ideal client at the center. This person will tell you everything. You need to know who this person is. But give her or give him a name, hobbies, description, personality. The more you know about your ideal client, the better and easier will be for you to identify how you're going to connect with this person. How does it work? I do it via imagining a simple day of my ideal client, but imagining the specific problems that this person is going to have where I can help. Let's say that this person wakes up in the morning and let's say here starts at 6, wakes up and suddenly needs to do her to-do list for the day. So she needs an advice of how to organize the day. Here, perhaps this person knows or consumes Instagram, perhaps Facebook, perhaps LinkedIn. So maybe a post will do. How we can do this? Identifying exactly which kind of keywords this person uses, what kind of content she uses, so we know that we will be part of this ecosystem of our ideal client. This person then leaves her home for work, and then she finds out, for example, on the street, a poster. Let's say she wants to go for a coffee in a bakery, and she goes a poster advertising, for example, an event of something interesting. Then we can actually connect with this person in a different way, not necessarily using social media, but perhaps a place where she likes to go. In this place, we tell something meaningful, something that she really likes to hear. It's not about sales. Here it's about nurturing. We really want to care. We need to give this person what they need, right? So here we give in an interesting idea, a content of an interesting topic that perhaps this person cares about. Goes up in the day and she goes to work and she finds the first problem. Let's say here, 10 in the morning, something goes at her work, and then she needs to face her villain. That's why storytelling is so important for marketing. With the storytelling, you give drama. You give this person a reason to be always wanting to know more from you. Why? Because they really need it at that specific time. Here, emotional intelligence is key for you to understand which kind of emotions this person has at the moment of her problem or his problem. Let's say she gets a little bit scared for some reason. Perhaps someone said something that she didn't like, we need to identify what is the kind of problem related to our service that we can solve. Here, for example, could be a podcast actually that she hears on a coffee break. We provide the answers that she needs, so we keep nurturing. However, if we use a podcast here, we need to identify what is exactly what you want to hear, and in the end, provide a clear call to action so she knows what to do for us in exchange for this value that we have created. That's what is called win-win marketing. I give you something of value, you give me your trust. That's how it works. Now, with this podcast, we need to make sure that we provide an ecosystem of value around what people likes to hear. It's always about people. People are always the ones who give you the answer. Therefore, the key concept of every single step is validation. Let's continue with the day. Let's say she goes out for lunch and then she finds out, for example, on the way, like some local newspaper or local radio station. So let's not forget about that. So if we have newspaper or we have radio station, perhaps you have created an entire ecosystem around you that is so interesting that catches up on the news. Maybe your topic, maybe your ideal or your vision is something that an entire community cares about, and maybe some news also talk about the same topic. Perhaps here you are not talking about sales directly. Perhaps it's just an idea that connects with what you do. But this is also part of this conceptual ecosystem, or let's put it like a conceptual bubble that we communicate, in which our ideal client perceives us. That's why it's so important to have this person always in the center. Let's imagine that at the end of the day, this person is absolutely tired of work and just wants to chill and have a nice event in which you really understand her problems. You give her a nice experience to chill, to relax, to be herself, and just to connect with you, which she has the opportunity to meet you personally. You have an actual, relevant, meaningful connection. And then this person will know that all of this that you have created is truth to your heart, and you give an authentic message because you care for her, you care about the community. That's why it's win-win. We are not taking advantage. We are creating value, and people are paying us for this value that we create from the heart. We transform this person in a meaningful way. Therefore, whatever message we put, either if it's Instagram, either if it's on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on a newspaper, on a YouTube video, or in a talk on the street, is part of the same message that we give to one single human being. In the end, what we really want to have is a meaningful conversation to create value from the heart. That's the purpose. We connect with our clients if we give a message that is authentic, that is from our mind, connected to our hearts, but integrated and communicated based on his or her problems. It's not about us as marketeers, as business owners, as entrepreneurs. It's about them, about the people that you want to help. That's how you do it. That's how you connect. The end of this video, a tip, how do you make this happen? Well, let's say you don't have so much budget and then you really are going to start with social media. That's totally fine, but what I'm trying to say, of course, is not that social media is wrong. I also do it. But there was a long time that I didn't do any social media and I always had my business going. So it is important, but it's not necessary 100% and it's not sufficient. That is the key point. So my last point for this video that I want to give you is how to do all of this. First, we know we have to define our ideal client. I will go into details on that for a different video because that's too much content. The second advice is choose the right channels, which means based on this integrated marketing communication analysis that you have done, you're going to see which channels you're going to start with, which ones are going to be the most important for you. Then you're going to prioritize your objectives always. And the most important thing, define your story. This is of course something for another video because that's one of my favorite things in the entire world. So I'm gonna give you later the keys to start storytelling for your brand, because what is important is that this person who is your hero knows about you, but you know exactly what to say. That's not that easy, but it's possible. We have so many storytelling techniques now that is actually quite good, quite simple and super beneficial, I can promise you. The most important thing that you need to know right now for storytelling is the emotional part. Always have a key message powered by emotions. If it's joy that you want to use, it's okay, but learn how joy is good for you. Not always. If it's too much, maybe it's not that good for your brand. If it's a little bit, it's good. But usually, what people like to hear more are the compensation mechanisms when they are under the influence of a negative emotion, mainly anger, fear, and sadness. So I will tell you more later. The most important thing is understand, think what is the emotional state in which your ideal client is. Then finally, we create a consistent, powerful, and key message for every channel. You can call this a manual, you can call this a repository, you can call this your dictionary, whatever, doesn't matter. The point is to have accessible for you a table, a list on a notebook. Don't put it just in your head. You have to write it down. Messages that you can use at specific times of the day of your hero, so you know what to say at a specific time. This is a method that I call connecting brands with hearts, that of course I will explain in a different video because this is again too long. My point here is that you really need to identify what is the star message of your brand connected to the heart of your ideal client, meaning which emotion you need to target, which emotion you need to really power your message with, so it is memorable. it is consistent. That is the key of storytelling, and that's the key for marketing. It's all about people, it's all about messaging, but more importantly, it's about how you tell your story, how you make it relevant for your clients. So please, by all means, if you are starting, just don't go straight away and post similar things than others do. That's not going to work for you. You need to find your right voice, your authentic message that speaks from the heart, and then people will listen, and most likely they will choose you and trust you, of course. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more content and keep being inspired.